I know a lot of people were surprised about how the Seahawks are playing. I came away from camp going, they're young, but this kind of feels like that, early 2010s team where it was, young guys, the competitiveness and everything. But, I think they've exceeded basically anybody's reasonable expectations here.
Oh, no doubt. It's funny because this summer I went to one of the OTAs, and Coach Carroll had me break the guys down at the end of practice or whatever. And that's the first thing I said was like, hey, guys, not one person in this country, in this league right now, believes you guys are going to have success. But if everyone in this locker room believes it, hey, the sky's the limit. And I can't say they took it to heart or anything like that, because when I was playing, I wouldn't have been listening. But overall, though, like, they believe in each other. They believe in themselves. And that resonates with me when I was with the Seahawks. Like, that was what made us so great, was we believed in one another. We understood we needed one another to have success. And to see these guys do what they've been doing, man, it's pretty impressive.
Even setting aside, what you lose in terms of on the field with Russell Wilson or a Bobby Wagner, there's also something to the idea, in my mind, and just talking to people. You've been in locker rooms a lot more than I have in a different role, but it does seem like there's something to be said for the leadership void. And when you've got players like that who have been there forever, young guys may not ascend into those roles. They may not be able to take those leadership spots. How much of that dynamic is real in terms of whether it's a DK Metcalf or somebody else who suddenly is thrust into that role and seems to be doing it well?
Oh, well, I feel like even you bring up DK. Tyler Lockett's no spring chicken.
Right.
He's playing like it, right? And Tyler learned from Doug Baldwin, So, I think it kind of just comes from the older players that have been around some of the veteran guys. A lot of us still come around, whether it's myself, KJ Wright, Sherm, all of us, Cam Chancellor, all of us still come around and just try to drop gems from time to time on the guys. And what's so funny, because we'll go to dinner with some of the guys as well, and you start talking to these guys, and they're like, "Man, when I was in high school, you guys were amazing." I'm like, "High school? I'm not damn old. Like, what the heck are you talking about?" So they when you speak, they definitely listen, and I think all that plays a role in just the mentality of what it looks like to have success. But those guys are stepping up. They have the right leaders in place. Whether you talk about DK, Tyler, heck, Gino, being a 10-year vet. Once you start playing well, it's easy to fall in line and follow the guys that are having success.
It is funny that you talk about telling the players nobody in this country believes in you. That was a big part of your program when you guys, made your Super Bowl run. I remember Doug Baldwin, you talk about him. Doug murdered me worse than anybody ever about something I wrote, and you might even remember this. I wrote something about the Seahawks wide receivers, and he ended up going on this rant. I wasn't even at the game, and all of a sudden I started seeing the quotes responding to me. And, to Doug's credit, he's a great guy. He is a salty dude, but he's a great guy. We became friends, over the years there. But, man, it was very much like us against the world. Doug came off, I want to say, after the SEC Championship game and screamed at the media, was yelling at us in that little part where before we can get onto the field or into the locker room, he's yelling at us. Like, that was what it was all about. And I heard that back in the spring, that like this Seahawks team kind of has that same vibe, that dog-eat-dog to them.
It's funny because, if you look at their rookie class right now, all those guys playing a huge role in the success, and they all have a chip on their shoulders. If you look at, when we were having our success, Doug Baldwin being undrafted, Richard Sherman being a fifth-round draft pick, Cam, the list is long. Myself, going from being franchised to the team not wanting you, Michael Bent, like, everybody had a chip on their shoulder, and that's what allowed us to have so much success. And I truly believe these guys, Gino, for example, has a chip on his shoulder to show that he deserves to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but not only starting, like, one of the top quarterbacks this season so far, right? So, like, these guys are playing with that chip. And then you got to give hats off to Coach Carroll and John Snyder and them just being able to steer this ship and make sure, these guys kind of have that mindset as well.
So have you made your plans in Arizona for to watch the Seahawks in the Super Bowl yet, or are you still giving that a little bit more time?
I'm gonna give them a little bit more time. But the last time we was in AZ wasn't a great outcome. So I I hope they get there, and I hope they're able to pull it off. But I'm giving about 3 or 4 more weeks, then we'll start making plans from there.
Well, shoot, you faced Tom Brady, right, in a Super Bowl even when he was playing with the Patriots. This is a pretty big game over there in Munich this weekend.
Huge game, huge game. The old head and Tom Brady still chugging along. Every time I see him, I got to laugh because he came into the league before me. I played 10 years, and this man, I've been out 5 years, and he's still playing. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But to see him continue to keep playing at a high level, that last drive last week was amazing, impressive. But I'm excited to see what the Seahawks can do about him. That young, hungry defense, I think, can make Tom uneasy back in the pocket and make him throw some balls their way.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.